Hi everyone. Today's class is a stretch and release class. This is Jen, and so I'm going to take you through a series of rolls using the foam roller, which is this right here. You want to get, if you don't already have one, and you can find these in a lot of different places, for sure Amazon, but also like Target and any sporting goods stores will sell a foam roller. But you do want to get the ones they come in different sizes and different firmness. I definitely recommend getting the one that's extra firm. Even if you're someone who doesn't like a super deep massage, you will eventually be glad that you had the firm one. And then you want it to be the 3-foot one. So they come in different sizes. This one comes up to my hip. So I'm going to be taking you through a series of rolls using for the foam roller from pretty much the top of the shoulders down into our lower body. And I'll talk a little bit about, as we're going through the rolling, the benefits of why we want to do this. Obvious benefit will be that it's basically like giving yourself a massage. So what are the benefits of a massage? Well, definitely helps to de-stress for sure. So mentally, that release, and there's that feeling good, that pressure, but also physiologically. So in your body, the rolling really does help to reduce inflammation. It increases blood flow throughout your body, which helps in the healing process. And it just really loosens up those tight muscles, which, let's face it, under this amount of stress that we're all in, we definitely probably have a lot more tightness in our muscles than we would like to admit to. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to actually do 2 parts to this. The first one will be using the foam roller, and then I'm going to do a second part, which is using roller balls. So I'll explain that when we get to that. So let's go ahead and begin by placing on the floor. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and have a seat, and then you're going to lay back on it so that the roller goes across your upper back. And then what you want to do is place your head in your hands so that it's just resting. Don't pull on your head, but just let your head rest. Imagine your hands are like a hammock. So just kind of place your hands like this underneath your head, and then let your elbows fall out to the side and let your head feel really heavy here. And then go ahead and take a nice big inhale. And as you exhale, raise your hips off the ground, and you'll immediately feel some of that deeper pressure on your upper back. So you want to roll nice and slow from the tops of the shoulders to right below the shoulder blades. So about mid back. And you want to really be focused on that nice deep breathing. Inhale and exhale. You might get a few spinal little pops there of your back realigning. A little free chiropractic with this. So you're just rolling. This should feel really good. Again, let your head feel really heavy. And you want to spend at least about a minute or so. You certainly can spend longer, but I'm not going to do as long as I normally would. And then you're going to go ahead and roll it further down and have a seat on the roller with your hands coming off the back. Kind of bring your feet out in front, and then what you're going to do is start rolling on the low back. So the reason why we skipped over this part of the back is you don't want to roll over any of your organs. So your kidneys are right there. We want to avoid rolling across the kidneys. So where we want to focus the rolls on is really just on muscles. So avoid rolling over ligaments, joints, you wouldn't want to roll across your knee bone or elbows. So that you're just rolling up and down the low back. And then to get a little more pressure, you're tilting your knees over to one side to get a little bit more pressure on that one side. And go ahead and let it roll right across your glutes. And again, this should feel really good. And then dip your knees over the other side. A way to get a little bit more pressure, put one foot in front of the other, and then go ahead and drop over to one side and roll across that side. Same thing, rolling across. So again, the key with foam rolling is it's all about body weight. So if it's too painful, make it have less body weight. If you want more and you like a deeper pressure, then push down onto that foam roller with all of your body weight. So again, it just depends on your tolerance. Do keep in mind that there is some discomfort with the foam rolling, just like when getting a deep massage. There's going to be parts of it where your muscles are really tight, and so it's going to feel a little uncomfortable. It should never feel so painful that you can't breathe or the eyes are rolling in the back of your head. It should be like, kind of like a good pain. So, so keep in mind your pain threshold. Know that you're going to feel a lot better afterwards. So if you can kind of hang in there a little bit with that discomfort, you're going to feel a lot better. Know that the reason why it's uncomfortable is because there's knots there. So speaking of uncomfortable, probably the most uncomfortable part of foam rolling is on the IT band, which is this muscle that connects from your hip all the way to your knee. So it's this big muscle that goes along the side of your leg, and that area can get really tight and it's really uncomfortable to roll on it. So I'm going to take you through a couple of variations. So you're going to lay right on top of it where it's right below your hip. And you want to take your top leg and put it in front if you want to push some of your body weight off that foam roller. And you can either remain on your wrist, or if that's not comfortable for your wrist, I like to come down on my elbow. So with that foot in front, it gives you the control so that you can push your body weight up and off that foam roller. And then you're going to just start rolling from right below your hip to right above the knee. So breathe. Nice big inhale and exhale. Definitely know that there's some discomfort here. If you want more, if you can handle that, then again, more body weight. So I took that foot off the floor, I stacked my legs, and now I've got the full body weight right on that side leg. So definitely some discomfort there. Inhale, exhale, and then I want you to slowly tilt towards the front part of the leg and do some rolls there. Again, right below the hip to right above the knee. And then go ahead and come all the way on the front part of your legs. And now you're going to roll the front. So yes, we are working our way to the other side of the IT band on the other side of the leg, but I like to do it this way. I get a little bit of pleasure in between the pain here. So the front part of the legs, that should feel good. Again, from right below the hip to right above the knee. And then slowly start to tilt over onto the other side. If that's too much, remember, bring that foot in front. And do make sure you're getting the whole part of that muscle. It's a really big muscle group. And some people just do like a short little roll there and you're only getting a very small part of it. So make sure you are going right above the knee, not on the knee, to right below the hip. Okay. Whew. Take a deep breath. You got through the most painful part of the foam rolling. So we've got the side and we got the front. We can also do the hamstrings. I will show you how to do some hamstring stretches, and maybe I'll make that 3 parts. So maybe I'll do just regular stretches as another video. So we'll just do the foam roller for this first video. So for hamstrings, you're going to go ahead and be in a similar position to where you were when you were sitting on it, but now you're going to sit on the floor. And then you're going to lift your hips up and just roll from right below the glutes to above the knees. So this one's pretty light, doesn't really feel too uncomfortable. If you do want a little bit more pressure, you can stack one leg on top of the other. Again, more body weight. And then go ahead and roll. So you want to spend at least, I'm kind of rushing through this a little bit because I don't want to make this video too long, but you want to spend at least probably about 1 minute or so on each, in each area. All right, so hamstrings, now the calves. For any of you that are runners out there that get really sore calves, this is going to feel really good. So I'm just laying my legs across that foam roller with the calf, okay, kind of the belly of the calf right on top of the foam roller. And then I'm pressing into the foam roller, and then I'm just kind of moving my leg side to side. So that's one way to get the calf. Another way, which this is a lot more pressure, would be to lift the hips up, stack one leg on top of the other, and then go ahead and roll. Whew, definitely a lot more uncomfortable. Make sure you get both sides. Good. All right, so that completes the lower half of the body. And at this point, I will just show one more area. And then of course, what I recommend is going back to your favorites, whatever feels best. But another area that gets really tight is the lats. So the way we get to the lat is actually laying on it sideways on your side body to where that foam roller is kind of right below the armpit. And then you're gonna bring your fingertips to either side of your head. And then you're just gonna roll forward and roll back. So the foam roller should be basically kind of rolling across kind of the, like I said, below the armpit. And then when you roll backwards, it's right below the shoulder blade. And you might be extremely surprised at how uncomfortable this is. It is not as bad as the IT band on the side of the leg, but it's pretty close. Now, if you want more, lift up that elbow. Again, we got that concept of body weight. And then you're rolling little movements up and down the side body. And again, just going forward and back. But this will really help with mobility. And then basically go to the other side. But I'll just talk a little bit about it again, and then we'll wrap it up for this video. But the foam rolling really does help with mobility. So I mentioned in the beginning part of the video, de-stressing for sure. You'll immediately feel after this is all done, a little bit like putty, because you just really gave that deep massage to all your muscles. But not only does it do that, but it does, as I mentioned, it's anti-inflammatory. So anything where there's stress in the body, you're bringing a lot of blood flow to that area, which helps to reduce that inflammation. But what this also does is really helps with mobility. So having tight muscles is a huge inhibitor to our daily movement. So this is really about just functional movement. If you've got really tight shoulders or tight hamstrings or tight muscles in your neck, you are not moving the way your body wants to move. You want to be able to move very fluidly. And this, if you can work this into your regular routine, will really help. So that last one that we just did, even though it was very uncomfortable, it really does help with the shoulder mobility. So if you find that, and you might not even be aware that you have some restrictions until you start doing this, and then you start moving your arms around afterwards and you're like, wow, this feels so much better. Definitely the hamstrings is a big one. If you have really tight hamstrings, that can pull on the low back and cause some limitations in your movement, which anytime there's limitations in movement means there's a heightened risk of injury. So we don't want that. So, so that's another really great point as to why we want to do the foam roller. If you can take 5 to 10 minutes every day and do the foam roller, you will really be thankful that this is a new habit that you worked into your daily lifestyle. So I will go ahead and leave that for now, and I'll be doing a additional video with roller balls, and then also with just some stretches that you can do that do not involve any equipment, or maybe a yoga strap or something like that. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you got to do the foam roller with me and you're feeling great. Bye.